Good evening, everyone. We are live from the Flagler Voice podcast studio. That's right. We are ready to take your calls. 386-251-8100. Let's hear from you. Here we go. Call 386-251-8100. Let's go. Call now.
What's up, my friend?
Oh, so much. And in fact, let me just start out by saying I'm wearing the orange jersey
Here we go.
of the Miami Hurricanes. They're on that magic carpet right now.
Here we go. The magic carpet, right? 10-0, right?
Yeah, 10-0.
Who have you guys played? Lafayette?
We've played some softer teams.
Lehigh, yeah.
But FAU last time. But they've been coming back and they've been scoring a lot of runs. I'm impressed.
McNichols
by
High
this team.
School?
No, that wasn't on it. Maybe next week. But here's the thing. In all fairness, we got the Florida Gators coming in at home. We're 9-0 at home, so we got to feel pretty confident of that.
Is that Alex Rodriguez Stadium?
Yeah. At Mark Light Field, a legendary field. So many great players. Hurricanes haven't won the national championship since 2001. They've won it four times.
Was that when Frazier was coach?
No, that would have been back in the 80s, like in 82 and 85. But Jim Morris was the coach.
Oh, that's right.
Back then in 2001.
Jim Morris. Great movie. What was the name of the movie?
Oh.
Southpaw? No.
Southpaw? No, I don't believe it was. We'll have to get research and development on that one.
Misty Stats.
Misty Stats.
Where is Misty Stats?
Yeah, where is it? We'll have to have her brought in here immediately. We're going to need it. Hey, first show going an hour.
An hour.
And it's live.
And man, I'd love an hour of seeing myself in the monitor.
Oh, you could just do that.
Have you ever seen my picture?
I've seen it, but I see you. We're only a couple of feet away,
that's
so
true.
I don't have to see any picture. I see you live every couple of times a week.
My producer always asks me, "Hey, can I see that picture one more time?" There we go.
Yeah, it's a rough crowd,
But I brought that on.
And today we have the ability now to take calls, and that's a huge plus because the sports fans who are very opinionated, they may not agree with us. They may have some kind of, but then again.
Who would not want to agree with us? Usually, right? Just go by our picks. Well, where's my man Jameson?
Jameson was awesome.
I know. We're trying to bring Jameson back.
But I'm thinking, I mentioned the Gators.
Yeah.
That's somebody,
Miami.
Yeah, and so they may not be too thrilled that we're taking them on down in Miami this week. But at 10-0, I'm wearing this jersey because as we talked before going on, there's some players and coaches and fans, especially fans, that are superstitious. Yeah. They don't shave a beard, they don't get a haircut, they don't change their socks or underwear.
God socks
forbid.
On right foot first.
Exactly.
I was a baseball player, so I played in college, and so I know the superstition, and it's real. Don't step on the white line. There was a few of them.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So I'll probably continue wearing this jersey as long as they're winning.
I figured you would.
And then again, maybe not. Hey, speaking of favorite teams, St. John's basketball. What's the story there? They had 13 straight wins. Ranked
that
15.
came to a crashing halt.
Yeah.
Crashing halt. Connecticut got them by what? 4? I think it was by 40.
I believe it was.
It was horrible. It's worst loss in Rick Pitino's in St. John's history anyway. But I could tell you, the one thing that comes from this is, St. John's beat them by 8 in the Garden. And then they went up to Hartford and they lost to them by 40. But St. John's was 2 for 23 at one point.
Right.
You don't go 2 for 23 in any level.
Nope.
I mean, even the little kids can do better than 2 for 23. It really does.
Jim Valvano, remember all the great.
Valvano and Krzyzewski and Dean Smith. But I can tell you this. Dan Hurley is a very passionate guy. He's a New Jersey guy.
Right.
His dad is, was famous. I can tell you this, his passion of coaching, and when St. John's beat them and took them down, they were number 1 at the time, and that was a big loss. And Pitino, that rivalry, Pitino and Hurley, is going to go on for, as long as Pitino stays coaching anyway.
Yeah. But should be the revival of coaching rivalries.
Yeah, which is good.
We'll see that.
It's
good for sports.
Yeah, it is good for sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You look at, I always get a kick out of, not a kick out of, but, Duke always brings in, they reload every year. We all know. Everybody wants to go. It's a beautiful campus.
Right.
Basketball tradition is huge now. And
currently ranked number 1.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
In the number 1 spot.
Yeah,
then Arizona,
you got the
Michigan.
Cameron Crazies, so you got they camp out, and it's all beautiful, and that's the love of the game. The producer's giving me the flag. Is everything all right?
No. Well, I thought
there we go. We back?
I was thinking the producer was maybe thinking about UConn getting that win, because anything from the upper Northeast, we might have a cheerleader in the studio.
Yeah, that was no.
He may not have that much sympathy for St. John's loss. But anyways, though, college basketball being what it is.
Hold on. He said
intermission.
We'll put a commercial in there, right?
Try. You're still live on YouTube, but not on Facebook.
Oh, so in that case, well, maybe in some forms of
For the
media,
YouTube
we
fan.
have the Indian head. Remember, they would please stand by
Yeah.
kind of thing. So if you're not seeing that, you're seeing us. Let us know if you want to see the Indian head. We'll break that out of the
unfiltered, just like almost as a bit like Lucky Strikes.
That's
unfiltered.
Unfiltered. Boy, did that, wow.
What, the Lucky Strike comment?
You know what? When you talk about something like that, I think of immediately Morton Downey Jr.
Smoking online.
Smoking
on TV.
online.
Yeah.
God bless him.
We're good?
But
Facebook,
we
we're
would
back.
always stick that cigarette in people's faces, you know, on the guests.
What was that? The Dean Martin show? Now, I wasn't around for the Dean Martin show, but I know I definitely saw taping of it. He had a scotch in his hand and a cigarette.
Oh, that's Dean Martin, yeah. Well, that was part of just his act right
His
there.
shtick.
He claimed, I think, or they say, that wasn't actually liquor all the time.
Really? Well, that's good
But
to
who
know.
knows,
Well,
you know?
who knows is right.
We
didn't want Dean to. We don't want to.
one of the all-time greats, Dean Martin. I could see him on the sideline coaching a college basketball game. He was one of the more well-dressed, sort of like a Pat Riley. We talked about it on Monday.
Mr. Armani with the hair slick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the all-time greats, the Knicks. Now, they're a game and a half behind Boston in the Atlantic
and
Division.
it's still
in the
doable,
thing.
and they're still ahead of Cleveland, even though they lost to Cleveland. The Knicks are like Windhorst from ESPN. He made the comment, as did Stephen A. The Knicks are just inconsistent right now. They just can't find it. When they come out shooting and they start hitting 3-pointers early, they're tough to beat. But if they come out a little cold, and I got to tell you, Mikal Bridges, who started out red hot, right now he can't hit the ocean from a boat. And
well, they're a different team when they're on the road. I think they're like 14-14 going into tomorrow night's game in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But,
and they were hot at one time until they went on that losing streak. And, the Alvarado addition, I believe, has been absolutely outstanding. He's tenacious, 5 steals in one game. And I just think that I thought this was a chance for us to turn the corner. OG was back. And, unfortunately, we're just not playing well. I don't care what anybody says. I think Mike Brown's a great coach.
Right.
But, Thibodeau is missed. I don't know why they fired him. He got him to the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. How do you fire Thibodeau is beyond me. Are we ready for that?
I want to let everyone know you can.
Chain Gang Sports, what's your name and where you from?
Hey, Tommy boy, this is Kyle from Palm Coast, Florida.
Kyle, what's up, my brother? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm a big fan of the show.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, you're answering some questions. So I was thinking,
Absolutely.
What do you think about the Indians shot at the World Series this year? I understand they lost. They last one in 1948, and they had like 5 other. There were 5 other ones, but they weren't able to grab a W out of that.
No,
So,
well, that's
what do you
because
think
Kyle. I'm going to be honest with you. They ran into a team called the New York Yankees, and they had their number. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but Cleveland. I think Cleveland's always got a shot. They got Ramirez at third base. He's one of the best third basemen in baseball. John, what do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And remember the Indians, now the Guardians.
That's right, the Guardians.
The Guardians.
Man,
back
you can't make that mistake.
Back in 1997, they had a shot, but it was the Marlins in their 5th year.
Edgar Renteria with the base hit up the middle, right?
Remember that?
I do.
The Marlins ended up having their number that year. But they've had a whole slew of great players, though. They are always in the thick of things.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to Jim Thome. I mean, you're right. They've always they've always knocked on the door. They've been a good team. Kyle, I think, I'm sure you're from the Ohio area because nobody's a Cleveland Indians fan unless you're from close.
That's right. Well, you know what?
I'm from Akron, Ohio. Moved down here a couple of years ago. Well, so you're saying the Yankees might be their biggest rival as of right now?
Well, I can tell you that when you get into that conference, you know, that the rivalries, you know, down there was a time when the Yankee-Indian rivalry was real.
Right.
But it's, you know, they're going to still claim that
When it was the
Cleveland's
American League East, remember you
White
had the
Sox.
Brewers,
Oh, that's right.
when before realignment, and they've really in the last 25 years they have really come along as being a team that it's no surprise if they're in the postseason. There was a time when, wow, you know, the Indians were among the worst in baseball.
Yeah.
But now you can feel good about being a Guardians fan. I'm going to just put that out there one more time, Guardians fan. There may be some, I don't know, that may say, who's the Indians? I can't imagine that happening. But
yeah, the whole Guardians thing, that's a whole nother subject. But I'm still,
that's like the Commanders. The Commanders.
Yeah, I don't like it. And then it was, what was it first? Before the Commanders, it was the Washington football team.
Right.
So
right.
But I mean, you know, it is what it is. Kyle, I think I think you guys will make that run as you always do, with a lot of young talent will come up, pop up, guys that you least expect, because that's what they do. It's an organization that is that's strong, but just like you say, they just can't get over that hump. So I feel for you, my brother, because I am a New York Ranger fan, a New York Knicks fan, and a Jet fan. So my life is miserable. At least you have consistency.
And when you think about it, Kyle, that division that the Guardians are in, they're up and down. Last year they had a much better, you know, only the White Sox. But prior to the Rockies last year, the White Sox were the armpit of Major League Baseball, record-setting in losses.
Right.
It's not a strong division. Usually the Twins are, you know, one of their tougher division opponents.
Yeah. And the Guardians won the division last year. I mean, they did win the division last year. They made a good run at it. I mean, they overcame Detroit on the last day.
Yeah,
Remember,
Detroit.
the last day of the season. Detroit went and lost like 3 or 4 at the end, and Cleveland won 3 or 4. And it was a good race. Listen, the Guardians won 88 games last year. I mean, that's a nice.
It's not a bad year.
No, not a bad year at all.
There's a lot of teams, and I think there's so many teams out there that 88 wins would be a great year for them. So, the Guardians are going to be in the thick of things, I think.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good. But in general, Kyle, you're a big fan of... Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we all can agree that Jose Ramirez is important to the championship window. And then, of course, we just kind of discussed on how how this team can also be consistent in, like, the AL Central. So... I was going to say, what's the biggest weakness holding them back?
It's going to be starting pitching. You know, that was the weakness last year, but they had some young guys step up, and they, these young guys are now a year seasoned, and I think again they're going to be there. I mean, and again, like John said, the division's not as strong, but hey, man, if you can win the division, anything can happen in baseball. You know that, a hot pitcher, 2 hot pitchers, and then next thing you know, and you got a guy like Ramirez that can carry that team. I mean, he is a potential MVP.
Well, Bieber was their ace for such a long time.
That's right, yeah.
And they miss him.
That's not Justin Bieber.
No.
Unless he could sing.
Justin would struggle out there, I think. I don't know.
He sings Christian now, so Justin's made the turn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll have to see Justin Bieber out there throwing a fastball, see how his curveball is going too. Kyle, but as far as Cleveland sports, you know what? I think you have reason to be hopeful out there this year, and hopefully you'll get to attend some baseball games out there if they come in interleague play in Tampa or Miami.
Yeah, Kyle, if they do come to Tampa, if they do come to Tampa, you could be a guest of the show. We'll take you over there. The producer just pulls out his wallet, and we're gonna do a show over there at the in the Tampa Stadium. So we'll bring you along.
That's a fat wallet too. I don't think it's filled with just business cards.
There you go. There's a man with too much control.
Yeah, you guys doing big things out there and doing what you can. And,
thank you, Kyle. Really I can't tell you, man.
Appreciate it, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle. Thank you for calling in, brother. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Good speaking with you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. That was nice, Kyle, giving us his. Kyle gets the chain, right? The first caller of the hour-long show.
Well,
my father loses it. Oh, did I just admit that was my father?
He did call in. He was maybe he was going to heckle you there. At first, I had no idea.
What was the question?
Right.
I went home and I told him, listen, I'm not putting clams on the spaghetti.
But see, we were prepared somewhat. We had Misty Stat
Misty Stats
last
was right
week.
there. Googling
Remember?
it.
And she
Yeah.
came up. What was that number?
We had a missed call from 819-9813. If you, sorry about that. We'll, if you try back, we'll gladly take that call.
Absolutely.
But,
Yes.
yeah.
And you know what? When it comes to the Guardians, you know, they throughout their history, what was it? Bob Hope was part owner, Bing Crosby or something, way back in the day with the Bob Feller years when the league was much smaller, and they were the Indians, of course. But the Guardians, you know what? They've come along. They've had some great players, Albert Bell. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
A lot of all-stars. They're not the Indians of old or the Guardians. And it's always difficult to keep that in mind. That slips out, right?
Yeah.
Indians, Guardian. Now he's got us saying that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Major League Baseball, spring training, your Yankees.
Yeah.
They came up big winners again.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, the Mets won today. They won big. I think they shut out the Astros as well.
Mets,
with
you know,
spring
this,
training.
listen, baseball, good things are going to happen, I think, for both the Yankees and the Mets. Mets went out and spent a ton of money.
Yeah,
And
as usual.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, the stat that I heard that just blows my mind, that Cohn, the owner of the Mets, he has more money than the next three owners combined.
That is
Combined.
amazing.
I mean, that's
That is
some serious
amazing.
wallet.
Talk about buying power.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anybody could challenge the Dodgers right now.
Yeah. Oh, you got another call. Chang Sports, what's your name? Where you from?
Leslie from Denellen.
Hello, Leslie. How are you, dear? Thank you for calling in. How you doing?
Thanks, Leslie.
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Fantastic. Now that we have
Yeah.
our second caller on our hour show,
There
we
we go.
appreciate it.
I have a question.
And we'd have an answer. Well, even though, and we're not going to Google it, I promise. Go ahead.
Well, my question is do you think that the Bears, now that they're moving their stadium to Indiana, will be changing their name?
Good
Wow,
question.
that is
No.
a great question.
I'd say no.
I'd say let's just the Jets and Giants didn't change to
Right.
New Jersey.
Yeah, they got to stay with the
They're gonna
Bears.
I just can't.
The Bears.
I really can't believe that that's what happened. I mean, Arlington. Leslie, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Arlington Heights is where they were actually pretty much slam dunked, and then it changed? Yeah. See, I mean, you know, I lived in Chicago myself for 10
Oh, you
years.
did?
Yeah,
All right.
and I was the company I worked for, Chicago Furnace. I'll give them a plug, even though they're not in business anymore. But we had season tickets, and the Bears. Let me tell you something. Sports in Chicago, man, they love their teams. That's simple.
Of course.
They love their teams.
One of the great sports cities in America.
Yeah, I'm
Chicago.
banging the table. I'm getting heckled from the back from the two guys in the balcony. The but I'm serious. That to move to Indiana, that just I first of all caught me off guard.
Right. Who knew that?
No.
Just recently.
Yeah, no, I know.
And it looks like it's for real. I thought it was just a ploy to get a new stadium.
Yeah, and Leslie, appreciate your knowledge on this because I tell you what,
Yeah,
that
a great
is a
question.
great question, and I got to be honest, that it would take away from one of the first football teams in NFL history.
It just wouldn't be the same.
No, it's like the Yankees moving to Connecticut.
How did it console Mike
Or
Ditka?
Maine, the freaking Maine, the maniac up there. They're going up to the Northeast.
Mike Ditka's going to be besides himself.
Mike Ditka's restaurants, his bars. What are they going to do?
I don't think it's a done deal, though.
Is it, Leslie? Do you know if it's a done deal? Have they signed, sealed, and delivered it? They're moving to Indiana?
From what I heard, it's a done deal.
Well,
A
Leslie,
done deal.
Leslie has connections in Chicago. It sounds like
We don't
So I'm
have
gonna-
to. We don't have to
We don't
involve
even have to
Misty
wait for
Stats.
We don't have to
Oh,
call
no?
Misty Stats. We got Leslie.
Oh wow, that is a shocker. That's right up there with the Colts moving in the middle of the night.
Oh, you
to
remember that? Yeah,
Indianapolis.
what was it? Mayflower was the moving
Yeah,
truck. I remember that.
Never forget that truck.
No, I'll never forget that. Truck. I don't think I will either. Now,
Every time I see that truck on the highway, I think of the Colts.
yeah, and even though we should be thinking about Christopher Columbus, we're thinking about the Colts.
They should have changed it to Colts Moving Company.
Yeah, RSA was Hayden,
Art Modell.
Art Modell. That's
Yeah,
it.
with the Browns and the Ravens.
Yeah. Oh,
And of course Al Davis, the Raiders,
yeah, well, they moved to
Oakland, Los
Vegas.
Angeles,
They
Oakland,
danced. But they danced to Vegas because the
Right.
stadium deal and everything.
and the Rams. The Rams going to St. Louis was befuddling.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, Leslie, one of the things I would be upset about it, and I'm sure if you're asking that question, you're a Bears fan, that what's got to be upsetting is they have a good team.
They do.
And they really are, they made another move or so with the draft coming up. I think they'll make more moves. They're an aggressive team in free agency. I could see that. And I just can't imagine you're taking this team on the cusp and you're pulling them from Chicago.
One of the
What are
top
they-
6 teams in the NFC.
What's the Saturday Night Live guys? The Bears.
Right,
I
the
mean,
Bears.
you take away everything. The Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah. All that history.
devastated.
The Bears are one of the
She
oldest
just
franchises.
ruined my day
that
because
is-
I didn't know that it was finalized. Can you imagine that?
The Monsters of the
smile all day.
Midway,
Have you
they
seen my
used to
picture?
call them.
What's that? Yo, the
The
Monsters,
Monsters of the Midway.
Dan
George
Hampton,
Hallis.
Steve McMichael. Oh, yeah. I mean, George Hallis, Dick Butkus. Oh, Gary
Gail
Fenton.
Sayers, Brian Piccolo,
The-
Brian's song.
Oh, my
All these
God.
things are rushing
I
through
love
my
Brian
mind.
Piccolo.
Yeah,
Remember Billy D. Williams? I love
Don't
Brian
forget the
Piccolo.
fridge.
one of the great
What's
movies.
that, hon?
One of the
I
great.
said, don't forget the fridge.
Don't forget
The
the
fridge. We can't
how do you forget the fridge? You cannot forget the fridge.
There's all these things now. The Indiana Bears just,
Oh.
it sounds like a minor league team.
Yeah, I know. Terre Haute. They're gonna be
Really?
the Terre Haute Titans. They're
What's
gonna
with
be-
Indiana now?
I have
They
no
won the
idea. What's
NCAA
the
National
attraction?
Championship.
How do you? I don't even understand where the attraction could be because Misty Stats is from Indiana, so she's
Okay.
probably glad she's outside because she would be upset if
She'd
we were
be
throwing. this-
inconsolable right
yeah,
now.
inconsolable that
So-
we're ripping on Indiana, but it's rippable.
Well,
It's rippable.
that is crazy though. If that is a done deal, hey, appreciate that call though, because
Leslie,
I
thank
gotta
you.
say, prior
You
to
are
going
the
on-
second caller in
yeah,
hour-long history. We're going to get a T-shirt out to you as soon as possible.
that was
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure listening to you both. Keep it up.
Wow,
Good
thank you
job.
so much.
Thank
You're
you
the
very
best,
much.
Leslie. Appreciate that.
Thank you,
Now there's a
Leslie.
listener, a loyal
That
person
is-
to the chain gang.
and bringing us some news there too.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I'm going to go with
Where
it.
is
She
Misty
sounded
Stats?
like
Got to get her out, get her back into the studio.
I mean, she
we
sounded
got
like
Googled.
her and Chris Berman are like this.
We
She
got
probably
out-Googled.
talked to the Swami.
Yeah, that's
But-
right.
I just can't picture that.
No,
it
you
just
can't.
doesn't sound right.
Yeah, no.
Hey, last night on Monday Night Football, if you saw it, you saw a good one as the Indiana Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings in overtime 34-31. It just sounds, it
Only
sounds
you
like
can
a
pull that off.
misprint there.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what I mean?
John,
It's just
I-
Indiana Bears.
God, I love having you. as
Holy
because
cows.
you're the only one that could have pulled that off. The only thing you didn't do is you didn't put the Cosell voice in, but that's all right.
Oh, no. I'll go at
no
some
more
point.
peacocking, no more Fox plugging.
No, Fox isn't getting more plugs from me. Not Fox Sports 1, no one.
I don't think
But
we're
I'll tell you
supposed to
who
have
is getting a plug from me. It's the Chain Gang Sports Show, and it's great to be on live, even though we do this show live. But now we're live because people can call in.
We're really alive.
Right,
Check
as
your
Kyle
pulse. Yeah,
and
okay,
Leslie
there it
did.
is.
Yeah, I think I'm percolating
Yeah.
here. The mouth is moving. So,
Producers are now checking their pulse.
but that's unbelievable. We were going to talk about that. I was going to make mention of that somewhere along
Of
the
the
line
Bears?
of the Bears because
And going to Indiana.
yeah,
Or just the
going
strength
to
of their
Indiana.
team. Yeah.
So basketball just isn't enough for Indiana now. They've got the national championship in Division I college football.
That's right.
Now they want the NFL.
They already have the NFL. They got the Colts.
So, well, that's true. They do have the Colts. Now that I think about
Oh,
it,
wait a second. That's true.
yeah, the Colts. I'm going to say it again. Holy cow, the Colts. They're going
Yeah,
to be second
yeah.
banana now,
Second
possibly
banana.
to the Bears.
Can you imagine? I just no. I refuse because they're going to do.
Well, the Bears have more Super Bowl wins.
Yeah. Well, but they're also.
I mean, the Colts have more Super Bowl wins than the Bears.
They have two, right? With
Colts
Peyton.
with Peyton, but remember, Jim O'Brien's field goal beat the Cowboys. I believe it was 16-13 in the Orange Bowl. Back in 1970.
Oh, my
I
God.
remember it well. I was sitting at the 50-yard line.
I was.
I was a very tiny.
Yeah, I was just coming out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You were
that's
just
sad.
coming out.
Yeah. It was my coming out party. My poor mother.
But I got to say, the Bears. That's astonishing. Really,
And no,
really and truly.
well, you know what?
I'm glad I'm sitting down.
Yeah, me too.
That's crazy.
But I can tell you this. This is fact. The Jets and the Giants play in New Jersey. They
Right.
practice in New Jersey. They
Right.
are. If I was Jersey, I'd be pissed.
That's a wacky situation.
Because they welcome the lovely New York when they go to the MetLife Stadium. Hey, buddy, check your map. You're not in New York. You're in Jersey.
Right.
They always show the New York skyline, how pretty and everything. Hey, listen, I'm a New York Jets/Giants fan, so I don't mind it, but it's not real. That's why I went over and I joined the Mafia.
You know,
That's what I had to do.
You kind of brought back to, we've talked about it before when they say, welcome to Miami Gardens, Florida, where the Dolphins take on the Jets at Hard Rock Stadium. And growing up in Miami, I can tell you that area there,
Miami Gardens.
Miami Gardens, it was actually Carroll City. You can ask ESPN's Mark Jones about that because he doesn't live that far away from it. Even though he studied in, I believe, Toronto, Canada, he used to work on Heat games with me. Not that we were part of the same broadcast team,
you guys,
but he mentions it on his Hurricane telecast.
Yeah, you know
Miami
what,
Gardens,
though?
Carroll City.
Yeah.
So it's kind of deceptive.
Yeah, it is a little deceptive, but at least you're still in Florida.
Right, you're still in Florida.
Yeah.
You're talking about
We're
a whole
talking about-
different
we're leaving
state.
A whole different state. And who's paying the taxes?
So let's
Who's paying for? So is it the
Yeah.
Indiana taxes that taxpayers that now pay for the Chicago Bears stadium? I mean, in New Jersey,
That could
thank
get
you,
complicated.
Jersey, for paying on the taxes for the Jets, New York Jets, and New York Giants to play in New Jersey.
Where does that leave? Could be maybe down the road going forward expansion. We may see a Chicago team.
Oh, let me tell you something. If they pull this off, I would think that there would be one. Well, I got to tell you, they're loyal people.
Well, yeah, they'll
They're
travel.
They travel
They'll
well.
take a boat ride.
Yeah.
They'll go across.
But I'm telling
They'll
you,
be the Bears Ferry.
Yeah.
I can see that. The Bears Ferry service.
yeah. Well, I can just the thing is you're right. Would the city be vengeful and say, all right, we're gonna go grab maybe they'll be nice enough to grab the Jets and bring them out there.
Well, Chicago has 2 baseball teams, so
Yeah,
maybe it's a big sports town.
It is
I
a big
can't
sport. I live
imagine.
there, and they love their sports. I mean, they do.
Is any franchise safe? I mean, when you look at it, if the Bears go,
That's
and it sounds like they did, according to Leslie, or they're about to.
And Leslie, you are on the hook for
Wow.
knowledge right now.
No franchise is safe. I
No.
always thought that the Jaguars
Well, when
would
the
have
Yankees
end up
the
in
Yankees,
London.
the Yankees were talking about moving to Jersey. There was some times
Yeah.
that Steinbrenner would threaten the city. He threatened the city because he wanted to, renovate the. Not only did he renovate Yankee Stadium, he renovated a 3-mile or 5-mile radius around the stadium. I mean, he paid for. I mean, right? The producer's shaking his head. He's old school. Oh, we got another call. Chain Gang Sports. What's your name? Where you from? Hello.
Welcome to Chain Gang Sports. Hey, thanks for the call. The call apparently dropped, but I got to tell you, though, talk about renovations.
It's there. Hello.
Tropicana Field.
Can you hear us? We're having technical difficulties. That's okay. It's only our first hour-long show. We're entitled.
Oh, it happens. Got to iron out the.
I can tell you that our producer, the Maniac. He's from he is from the school of I don't fail at anything. So he's going to be frustrated.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not. He's got a scowl on right now. You see him? Look at him.
But at least he's not pounding on the counter.
Did I do it again?
No, you're fine. You're
Oh, okay,
fine.
good.
And he hasn't, not yet.
Yeah.
But speaking of renovations, did you
We
see
are pounding.
Tropicana Field is back?
Oh, it just said missed call. Whoever that was, 386-872-0234. Please try back.
The Rays will be playing at Tropicana Field once again. And when you see a before and after picture of that, it
I
is
have not
amazing.
seen that. Is that? Thank you for calling back. Well, now I'm not going to welcome you to Chain Gang Sports. I'm just glad you called back. What's your name and where you from?
Hey, Dom. Jameson.
Jameson Carter. Is that
Hey,
Jameson
Jameson.
Carter? Is a Jameson sighting, the man, the myth, and the legend of sports pro picking. He's a handicapper.
Yeah, there he is, Jameson. He kind of sounds so far away. Are you reporting from Indiana, giving us further updates on that Bears situation?
Jameson, where are you? You home?
I'm in the car.
Oh, hey,
There you go.
Jameson's on the move.
A
That
mobile
kid,
call.
He's
That's the best way
probably
to
got
do
a
it.
driver. He's in the back seat, kick back in the
Yeah.
Bentley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
When you're waiting at some of these red lights,
Jen
I
probably
suggest
Jen made him some
give us a call.
chicken enchiladas, which are famous and they're amazing. But Jameson, brother, how are you? Thanks for calling in. What can we? You got any questions for us, brother?
Yeah, I have a question.
What's the question?
How do you feel if Anthony Richardson gets traded,
Brother,
where
that
do you
is
think he would go?
let me tell you something, Jameson. That is a fantastic question because I was reading about it in our pre meeting before the show, and that is a great question. Anthony Richardson never really had the chance. So he's got the arm talent, but are we talking about another flop in the draft, or are we talking about a great player? And where would Richardson go? Because I'll tell you, teams will line up for him.
Yeah,
they'll line up for him.
You never know. I'm even thinking of maybe the Miami Dolphins. There's a lot of guys. Malik Willis.
That's a good possibility.
Kirk Cousins in Atlanta could end up in Miami.
Jets are a possibility.
I think
if
somebody
they don't get
will.
Mendoza, I think Anthony Richardson's a shot.
Yeah. He's only 23.
I know.
It doesn't seem like that job was really ever his to begin with.
No, it really wasn't. They brought somebody in each time.
And Daniel Jones now is the guy.
Danny.
But yet
Danny
he wasn't in
Dimes.
New York. Will
What do
that
they call
flip?
him now?
Oh, well,
He has a new nickname. From Danny Dimes, he went to
Danny Dimes.
Yeah,
I have not heard yet,
Yeah, but there's a new one. But Anthony
it's tough to keep
Richardson-
up with the Joneses.
Yeah,
though. Yeah.
Right.
But,
I know that was gonna fly.
But Anthony Richardson, that is a great question.
Jameson's
there's
on top
several
of his game.
teams.
James,
Oh, yeah.
that's why he's the top handicapper in this county.
He'll have you looking for Misty stats before you
Misty
know it.
Stats, I think, pulled an MIA. She's not. I think the bosses are going to probably deduct her pay.
Well, we'll have to bring her back though.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
But I tell you, that is a great question. I'd see Richardson. There's probably a good 8 teams that I think could use a quarterback, and Richardson is so young. I think anybody.
I think he's worth. Jameson,
Yeah.
we think he's worth. He'll get a shot somewhere, brother. Do you have any teams that you'd like to see him go to?
No.
No, you're just open. Are you happy with?
I know. Wait, I know. I want him to go somewhere.
Where's that, buddy?
I want him to go to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
You know, that's amazing he says that because I was thinking Browns. That was my next
yeah,
thing.
because you don't think Shador Sanders.
But I
is
don't
real.
think he's going to go to Cleveland necessarily.
He's just going to get into another situation where he was
Right.
before with three.
It's a crowded quarterback room there.
Yeah,
as it
and
is.
in fact, I was reading this morning and listening to Stephen A. Smith this morning and I give Stephen A. Smith a lot of plugs.
You and Stephen A.
Stephen A. and I
are like
that.
me and Fox
The only
Sports.
problem with our show, Stephen A. would not like is we don't wear ties. He is man. Seriously, you go on his show, you better be wearing a tie.
Got to wear a tie.
Got to wear a tie. But Stephen A. Smith had said that Deshaun Watson is going to make a valid attempt at coming back this year, and if he doesn't if he doesn't beat Shador Sanders out, then he should retire. Is what Stephen A. suggests, and I believe that even getting the shot, I think you'd have to beat Shador Sanders by a mile. But Jameson makes a good point. Anthony Richardson goes in there and he changes the thing around, but are you going to waste that trade capital to go and get a guy when, right now they look like idiots because of their whole quarterback situation.
Right.
So that to try to resurrect some catastrophic mistakes, adding Richardson might be just adding to the problem.
More of the same.
Yeah.
More of the same.
Yeah, I think they're going to give Shador a shot because they have to make it look like they supported the draft pick and that it works. Because, sometimes you have to do things that aren't right, but you have to save face.
Right. Exactly the next thing I was going to say, again, I was going to say save face. And that's what a lot of teams, maybe they blew it. There's some, Sanders could be, who knows? This will be his second year.
Yeah,
he might emerge.
I hope so. I mean, I liked him. His accuracy in college was amazing.
I do feel like what he did was, what, he didn't do any worse than anybody else over there in Cleveland.
Yeah. Jameson, I got a question for you. So quickly, the Jared Goff, you're happy with Goff in Detroit? Because I know you're a big Lions guy.
Yeah.
Yes, you're happy
I'm
with
a
him?
Lions fan.
So you don't want Anthony Richardson to be a Lion?
Nope.
All
Not at all.
right. My brother.
Not even as a backup.
No, Jameson flat out, adamantly said no.
No Richardson.
No Richardson.
In Detroit.
Jameson, my brother, I can't. Go ahead.
I'll take maybe like Josh Allen or something.
Yeah, I would take Josh Allen too if I were you, brother. You know what? You're on the right page, and what's that?
Jared Goff is kind of old.
He's kind of old, but he's also kind of on the. He just doesn't have that personality. I just think Jared Goff is that oh shucks guy. Oh shucks.
But he'll be back. He'll be back.
I wish he could.
I like.
I wish he could scramble.
Yeah. If a little mobility. Considering he really never had any, but it would have been nice if he had some. My brother, we can't thank you. Yeah, we can't thank you enough for calling. Please be a regular caller because we love having you. We're gonna have you back on the show real soon. You'll be back on here with your jersey, and thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Enjoy the show.
Thanks, buddy. I
Thanks,
appreciate
Jameson.
that.
Bye.
Bye.
One of
What a great kid.
one of the youngest people listening to the show, probably.
9 years old, and he's talking about Anthony Richardson. Gotta love it.
Only 9.
He's only 9.
Only 9.
Only 9. Hell of a football player. His mom, sports junkie, so you get the whole, he's raised right. Raised in a sports home.
You know what? When you're that age, sports is everything to you.
It
you
is.
look up to the players.
Look at us for the Olympics. We're crying
Yeah.
for the hockey team. I mean, sports brings out everything. I always said football was the great fraternity in life. It really was for me.
Football.
Sports is the great fraternity of
Right.
life. It doesn't have sorority, fraternity, no men, no
The camaraderie
no favoritism.
kind of thing. Yeah.
It's that whole teamwork thing, that whole culture of a locker room,
The locker
that whole
room.
family feeling. I belong to a group. It's family first. That's we all make sure each other's okay. We all look out for each other.
Right.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
It's a
we
really
talked
good feeling.
about it on Monday with the over the weekend update on how the Olympics and what a touching moment that was on the
with
closing.
with the kids. Oh yeah,
where they
closing.
brought out the kids there.
Yeah, whew. That was tough.
You know what? Yeah, that was. If you had a dry eye, like I said on the show,
You're not human.
See your optometrist there. You got to get out the
Yeah,
drops
get
here.
the drops.
Something fake.
We got to get salt. Put a little salt in your water. Throw it in there. You'll tear up.
And that whole moment. Hey, now that you mention it, though, the women's hockey team
Oh, the Flavor Flav
has been invited to Las Vegas in July to celebrate their gold medal win with Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav. This could be somebody.
He's
calling
going to be
about
wearing the
what's
big
up.
clock
This could
around
be
his neck.
Flavor Flav.
That might be him.
It could be Flavor Flav.
Let's ask him what time is it.
Chain Gang Sports. What's your name? Where you from? Hello. No.
Oh, we may have
we've got a. It's not. This isn't on the producer. I think this is on AT&T. We're gonna put it on AT&T.
may have another drop call, but yeah. Hey, Flavor Flav. You know
That's
what?
AT&T.
So now we lost another sponsor. Thanks.
Oh yeah, that's right. Publix and now AT&T. That was pretty slick. Even the maniac throwing out some fun.
Let me just tell you about that Publix potato salad. I've got a cold pint
How
right
did
now
we get to the
waiting on
potato
me.
salad? I
Oh,
took
let me tell you.
Publix down with the chicken.
Oh, it's a great
Here we go.
combination with the chicken wings.
So I don't have to say welcome to. So I'm not going to say welcome to Chain Gang Sports. I'm just going to say thanks for calling back.
Oh, okay.
What's your name? Where you from?
I'm Jen, and I'm calling from Florida.
Jen, is this the chicken enchilada lady?
Chicken enchilada, Mama.
The chicken enchilada mom.
Enchilada mom.
She is a sports fanatic. She is a wonderful person. Jen, thanks for calling. What's your question?
Beautiful.
No problem. Well, this is actually directed to you.
Oh boy.
Stanton has a tennis elbow injury. Having a hard time opening chips and a bottle of anything. What do you think's going to happen next season with him?
I think that was a rip on me for the bag of chips comment when I said you were showing off about the chicken enchilada. But if it wasn't a big, no, it's always something with him. That's all I can say. It's every year calf injury. Now he can't even open up a bag of chips.
That's
That's your. Stanton was in the Marlins. She gets she even laughed about it.
You know what?
Anytime you laugh at your own question, you know it's. But there it is. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate me bringing up the. We pay $100 million for that guy.
You know that is amazing. You know what? That's the weirdest thing since Nate Burleson. I had him on my fantasy team probably a good 20 years ago.
Couldn't open the
something like that.
Fritos. Couldn't open a Fritos.
Well, no, he had a pizza in the car and he reached over and he pulled a muscle. He was out for a few weeks.
That's like Carl Pavano from the Yankees when he pulled
Carl
a muscle
Pavano.
in his ass.
Yeah.
He
Imagine
pitched.
that.
Am I allowed to say ass, maniac?
Well, you just
ass
did.
is yeah,
that's fine.
That's a
It's in
fourth
there.
ass. We got 5 asses on the show, and nobody can beat that. But no, really, Carl Pavano pulled a muscle in. This is what the Yankees have. Stanton can't open chips. Carl Pavano can't clinch his butt cheeks, and we gave him $1 million. We gave him $1 million a start. That's what it broke out to.
Wow.
He only
Yeah.
started 9 games for the Yankees in a 3-year career, and it ended with a torn butt. What do they call it?
Gluteus maximus.
Gluteus Maximus blowout. But yeah, Jen,
That's the weirdest
thanks for
injury.
hitting that nerve for the way to start the Yankees preseason spring training is that we have Stanton, our $100 million. First of all, DH because he doesn't
DH.
play the field.
Can't.
He can't. Strains his calf, and I think it's because he's only got 2% body fat.
Yeah.
The guy is built like Rock of Gibraltar, and
It's probably like having a bad case of sciatica.
tennis elbow. I
Or-
mean,
or with the butt injury.
We got to find something like a name that's like an injury that's manly.
Yeah, tennis
torn
elbow.
ACL. We got to talk about tennis elbow.
It sounds
Birdie wrist. From
birdie
badminton
wrist.
players.
Yeah.
Birdie wrist.
That's crazy. One of the strange injuries, just like your oblique. It seems like the oblique has really come into prominence.
Can you say that
When I
3
first heard
times
that,
fast?
the oblique. I injured my oblique. I got an oblique injury.
Yeah.
That's a strange one too.
It is. Jen, do you have a favorite baseball team, or did you just call the rip on my Yankees?
I called a rip on your Yankees. I don't have a favorite baseball team.
Gotta love her honesty.
Well-
I did plug your chicken enchiladas, and now I have to bring a Tupperware container to Courtney's karaoke party, which I hopefully all will attend. And even our guests, anybody out there wants to go to a karaoke party.
Where's that going to be?
I got cotton in my mouth. We'll put the address on our website if anybody wants to go.
Karaoke. All right. At Courtney's.
Yeah, Courtney.
There you go.
That's a
As
ring
long-
to it.
As long as you're not singing, Tom.
Yeah, that's
No singing.
Boy, look at you
Now-
got Mike Feldbauer in the back pumping his fist about my singing.
Is that
Jen,
Courtney?
Thanks.
Courtney like Kardashian?
Jen, we brought on the show just to heckle Tom.
There you go. Courtney like Kardashian? Courtney,
Courtney,
Courtney with a K or with a C?
With a
like
C.
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big it's a big party at Courtney Love's house. Yeah.
Well, you guys have a good night. It sounds like the show is going well from what I hear. So
Thank you.
I look forward to listening to the rest of it.
From what you hear, better change to what you watch and what you listen to on a regular basis. And no, really, Jen, thanks for calling.
Yeah, well, I will talk to you guys soon.
I hope so. Thanks
we'll
again,
look
Jen.
forward to
Appreciate it. And I will be bringing Tupperware for leftovers. Thank you.
Hey, talk
Sounds
about.
great.
Thanks again. I tell you what, people can call in, talk with us live from here on
Isn't it
out.
amusing? I mean, I love this show.
Yeah, it's great. And 386-251-8100, the number to call and talk to Tom and tell him how his Yankees are doing. They're doing
John,
good right
they gotta
now.
talk
You're
to
not
you
going
today. We love you.
Yeah, they're not going
Have
to
you seen my picture, though?
Oh,
Have you seen
I
it?
have.
Just in
I
case
have.
you haven't seen it, I'll show you later.
And but
yeah.
talk about an astonishing figure. We talked about the Guardians, and Max Scherzer has been in the league
20 years.
and he
Almost.
just signed a 1 year of
He
$3
did.
million contract
With who?
with Toronto.
Oh, my God.
With Toronto.
Oh, that's right.
Now that's chump change. In his career, he has amassed $370 million in salary.
That's incredible.
I think he's
Max Scherzer's he's still going to go out and give you everything he's got.
still got it.
Yeah,
he's still
I
got
don't know if he's winning 20 games. Definitely
No,
not. He's
no,
your third
definitely
level.
not.
He's
He's
a
not
third.
going to get that many starters.
No, he's a third. But bring him in for what we talk about all the time, the culture. Bring him into your locker room, and you got a guy who's a bulldog. He wants to go out and get it, and that not like the original bulldog, Oral Hershiser. I just pulled that out, didn't I?
Orel Hershiser.
Oral Hershiser.
But $370 million. When I saw that, I thought, wow,
No, I wouldn't-
It
I'm not
pays to be
surprised.
in the league for a couple of decades.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's still not a Bobby Bonilla contract.
No, Bobby Bonilla is going to get paid when we're no longer walking this
No.
earth. I think
he outlives us.
he'll get paid beyond the grave.
No,
I think they'll still be.
It's like my stepdad's
Crazy.
retirement for the fire department, New York Fire Department. When he goes in the ground, so does the pension.
So does the pension.
Yeah, so I think Bobby Bonilla's salary, the Mets will finally get relief.
That is a big.
But that's coming up. They always make a big deal. It's like Bobby Bonilla Day.
Bobby Bonilla.
Gets paid his $1 million.
What
and
a
he
blunder.
retired 24 years ago.
Incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible. Well, going back to that quarterback situation with Anthony Richardson, a lot of quarterbacks. We talk about Fernando Mendoza. We assume that he's going to go to the Raiders. Tom Brady was there at the championship game. I think Tom Brady sold on him.
It's funny that you say that because, again, Stephen A.
Yeah.
On his show, Dan Orlovsky bashed Mendoza in a couple ways. Fields, that's it, Fields Smith or Fields, the kid from ESPN. he has, they both have said that watching the game tape, that Mendoza really isn't all that in the bag of chips, that he is not an overall number one, that he possibly could fall. And it'll depend, but he's only going to throw on the Indiana's Pro Day. He's not throwing at the Combine, from what I understood. I know Ty Simpson is, but there's now some questions coming up, and they always do. When you're talking about the number one overall,
at this stage,
some guys will be like Bryce Young. He stayed there and maintained it with Tua Tagovailoa, which was. I don't know. You know that more than anybody.
Yeah.
Tank for Tua? No.
Oh no, you don't want to be.
No,
well,
Justin
you don't
Herbert.
Want to tank for anybody. There's no. But you know what?
You're not getting 53 guys to tank. I don't care who you are. When you play to that level, there's no way they're coming out there. Guys that come out there fired up and play a game that violent, you ain't getting them to tank. Meaning they've got to take it down a notch.
Right.
What happens when you do that? You get hurt.
When you're a player, you don't care what
you don't have that mentality.
You're looking out for yourself. You're giving your best performance.
Absolutely. Listen, I don't even play pool because I don't like to lose.
Exactly.
So you can imagine a guy.
You should hang out with Jordan. You should hang out with Mike.
Michael, the killer. Remember we talked about that on Monday.
Killer.
The killer.
He was one of many killers out there in the NBA.
And he was.
And it's good to have him back in coverage there.
Sports,
on NBC.
I like that.
We'll see what happens there.
There he goes, peacocking.
So you think the Raiders? Yeah, the peacock. Well, I just want to subtly mention that. But the Raiders, though. So how does the NFL say upon further review?
Yeah,
they're kind of giving that a further review.
Well, like I said, it's coming out now that the game, the tapes, the highlight tapes that you're seeing on Mendoza is the best that Mendoza had all year. Is what you saw on the tape, not in the full game situation. The full game tape. Right. They said that game management he had a problem with and things like that. And, who knows? I don't know that to be true. I watched as many Indiana games that, Big Ten and Indiana was good. So you got to see them towards the end. And towards the end, they were dominant. So, I can't see. Listen, if he falls to 2, I'm the happiest man in the world. If he falls to 2. But, and that would be great. But now the Jets are looking at defensive pass rushers, and it just that's the life I live with the Jets. It's horrible.
Well, it just started up today. You mentioned it briefly there. The NFL Combine, something that's been held in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
since 1987.
Lucas
Oil Stadium came into being in 2008. But it was held, I guess, at the Carrier, in Indianapolis. The Hoosier. Was it the Hoosier Dome or
maybe
something like that? But it was the home of the Colts because they've been there. We mentioned that how they moved out of Baltimore in the snow overnight.
The Mayflower.
Yeah, the Mayflower. But since 1987, before that it was New Orleans and Arizona for a couple of years. But so that is the home. We talked about that earlier in the week. When you think of the Combine, you think of Indianapolis.
Sure.
It started up today. Today, I believe it was just defensive linemen and linebackers.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I believe it's defensive backs and tight ends. Saturday's the big day. That's why
quarterbacks and running backs.
Yeah, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs, and you'll be able to catch all of it on NFL Network. I'm going to give them a little plug as well.
That's a good plug.
And from 1 to 8, that's Saturday, and that's what people are going to look for. And then it's offensive lineman on Sunday.
Got a call. Chain Gang Sports. What's your name and where you from?
Name is Pete. I'm from Bayshore, New York.
Oh, Petey boy, Bayshore, New York in the house. What's up, brother?
What's up, Tom?
How are you, my friend? Oh, my buddy. This is my buddy Pete. We go back, way back. I hear that. I mean, well, not that far back. One of the dogs, one of the original dogs.
You never want to tell me your age.
What's that, buddy?
What are we talking about over there? We're digging out here in
Bro, that is some storm you guys got hit with.
No.
Some storm.
I'm sure you don't miss that.
Definitely do not, my friend. When are you coming to Florida? When are you going to make Florida home? Come on. Bring it down. Come on in. The water's fine.
I know. Listen, I'll visit. You got to understand, I've got things that are going to keep me here forever.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's all right, Pete.
I
can think of a lot worse things, but New York is not a bad place to live. Long Island, especially.
Nah, it's great.
Yeah. No doubt about it, brother. Yeah, buddy.
Hey, man.
What do you got for us? I'm sure you're going to throw out some Mets stuff. I guarantee it.
Nah, you know what? I got, we could talk New York sports. Sure, that's something that I'm well equipped at. I would say that, I'm looking forward to baseball season.
Yeah, and you guys did go out and spend money.
What's that?
You guys did go out and spend some good money, get some quality players.
I think so. I think there's a concern with some starting pitching, but there's always been Stearns has the ability to find guys and elongate the rotation. So I'm excited. I think what happened with removing guys like Nimmo, McNeil, and Alonso was obviously a plan based on the fact that that core hasn't won anything, and a little change of pace, while shocking at first for Met fans who love all those guys, is settled in quite okay in my opinion. I'm ready for a change, so I'm excited.
No, you should be.
Bring it on.
It became stagnant for you guys a little bit, that getting there and almost winning the division, and I get it. The Yankees have been the bridesmaid quite a bit, and it's just can't seem to get over that hump. And then the Dodgers go out and spend hundreds of millions every offseason and make it unfair. They're actually too deep now at every position.
And the Mets started out so good last year.
Yeah.
And then they went into that slump over the summer, and it just was a funk they could never shake.
Yeah, no, that's right.
It was amazing. Talking to Mets fans, you had to take the sharp objects away from them. They were in depression.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, Pete.
It was.
Go ahead.
Hard. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
I just remember going back when we had those partial season tickets to the Knicks. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
That was like Stu Jackson. That was Stu Jackson days. Yeah. What do you think of the Knicks, Pete? Talk to me, buddy. What are the New Yorkers thinking about the Knicks and their inconsistency?
Inconsistency is they had a stretch where after they won that in-season championship, that I know they were slow out of the gate. But other than that speed bump, I mean, the inconsistencies is beating the elite teams, particularly Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, they fared well against teams in the West.
Yeah, they have.
Fared well against Boston.
And Boston and Cleveland.
Yeah, they lost the other night against Cleveland, but do I have faith in them to go deep? Yeah. To go maybe to the Eastern Conference Championship and mete out some revenge against the Pistons? Hey, anything can happen.
Sure can.
I mean, there's enough talent on the team. There's a lot of talent.
No question, buddy. And I think Alvarado was a great ad. There's no question Alvarado was a great ad. A pesky little guy. I didn't realize he was so little. But being from Brooklyn, from playing at Christ the King, and I mean the whole story is great. I just that they, and Karl-Anthony Towns. If Karl-Anthony Towns plays like he's used to play, like he can play, get that 20 points and 15 boards, and and be tough in the middle. But he, like when Shaq called him out the other day on, I don't know if you saw that. Shaq called him out, said, "You got to be the man. You're too nice of a guy. Stop being a nice guy and dominate." Yeah. And he was right for calling him out. I believe the same thing.
Alvarado is pesky. It's the little guys. What is he, only about 6 feet? And in the NBA, that's minuscule.
Yeah.
And they're the guys that usually get the steals. Remember Muggsy Bogues?
Muggsy Bogues.
Because you're playing in between the guys.
Muggsy Bogues.
You're in between the guys' kneecaps, You're looking up. It's Crotch City out there for you.
Oh my gosh, Pete! You just say names, and our life goes back with nothing but sports. Muggsy Bogues, you remember Muggsy? Yeah, Muggsy. You remember that?
All of 5'5".
Doc Sugarless.
That's it.
Hey, Spud Webb.
Spud Webb.
Even smaller.
Yeah,
right?
But Muggsy looked up to Spud.
Smaller than Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
So maybe the opposite. Maybe Bogues was smaller than Spud Webb.
Oh yeah, Bogues was he was the smallest.
He was like 5'3". Actually.
Yeah, he was, and he
dunked. That was and Spud was 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7". Yeah, that's right. He was
5'7", Spud Webb.
Yeah,
and Earl Boykins for the Cavaliers.
Right. Yeah,
5'3" in the NBA.
No, that's just
Google it.
you gotta find him. He's the little guy.
I remember in the locker room, he was the only guy when I was covering the Heat. The only guy that reporters were looking down on him.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, no, it is incredible. When I looked at when you watch these interviews, first of all, like we were talking about size. I mean, I watch Cole Anthony Towns when he's talking to somebody, and the guy's got his mic extended. I mean, his elbow extended away. I'm like, man, that's 7'2" is real.
I preferred the 7-footers to sit down in their locker.
Oh, that's right.
interview.
Yeah, John.
My hand barely got to their mouth. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I needed one of those microphones like Gene Rayburn used to have for the game shows back in the 70s.
Yeah. Petey's saying,
Something like 2.5 feet long.
2 fingers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Pete, man, I tell you, I can't thank you enough for calling in and talking sports with us. But do me a favor, give yourself a plug.
fellas.
Give yourself a plug with the Willis. Tell us about it.
Well, the Willis Project, as my friend Tom knows, I've been a musician for about 40 years here on Long Island, and done a lot of cover material and played in a lot of bars, a lot of clubs, and still do that. But I got an opportunity to go down to Nashville and record and write with some very seasoned writers and session musicians, and a producer that is a guy that we went to high school with, who's become very successful with studios.
Married to
Nashville
DeBartolo,
and
speaking
in
of
LA.
sports, right? He married Jen DeBartolo, right?
Yeah, he is blessed to be in love and married to Lisa DeBartolo, who's
Lisa,
a really
that's
sweet
it.
lady who I met. And Don has built himself studios and becomes very successful on his own as a musician and producer. Invited me to come down.
Petey, they just we hit the time.